With all of the game announcements we've had lately, there might have been one that slipped right past you, and that is Wolong 2. Now, this is a direct sequel to the moderately successful Wolong Fallen Dynasty, which I have had the pleasure of playing recently. Nobody told me just how good this game is. Wolong Fallen Dynasty is a Souls-like game developed by Team Ninja and published by Koei Tecmo on March 3rd, 2023. I purchased this game sometime near the end of 2025 at a discounted price. Best money ever spent. I picked this up because Rise of the Ronin really surprised me. I struggled with Neo, but Ronin seemed a little more accessible, and I got hooked. But that got me thinking, where does Wolong stand in all of this? It is a Souls-like, and to be honest with you, I'm still not even sure if that style is for me or not. I really don't know. But something makes me want to give this game a try. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are new to the channel, we talk about anime and gaming news here. I also do reviews, not to mention I cover anime conventions. If any of that sounds remotely intriguing, please consider subscribing. Now let's take a look at a game that snuck past my radar. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I am Ryofu and you are watching The Gaming Harbinger. I am not here to string the video along or tell you, oh, you gotta wait to the end to find out if this game is amazing, man. The game is good, okay? That's all you need to know. End of video. Just kidding. It's so interesting that it's not quite like Neo. Wolong is not quite like Neo, and Ronin is not a carbon copy of Wolong. It's so fascinating. These games all have like different flavors. When it comes to Wolong, I mean, it's really in the pocket. You know, it is about parrying for sure. The game, in terms of like stages, you have these sections in the game and everything's interconnected. So it kind of gives the illusion that it's open world-esque. The reality is that this is a very linear experience. Which, by the way, I want to be clear here. There is nothing wrong with a linear experience. I know sometimes people in the past, they used to talk about it like it's a bad thing. It's not. I think, in fact, this is what allows Team Ninja to be in the pocket, in fact. You know, they have these tailor-made mini boss fights in just certain sections of the game where they have it handcrafted in a certain way because they want a particular experience. Yes, there are parts where you can totally get wiped out in this game very easily, but you can also create a build that rewards the type of play style you want. It's good stuff. Right now, I know this video is kind of all over the places because I'm hyped, man. I'm hyped. I mean, I really like this game. Okay, I'm gonna calm down for a second. Okay, so let's just go to the story and the background, okay? So the backdrop for this is Romance of the Three Kingdoms, in case you didn't notice. The story is as follows. This takes place during the Yellow Turban Rebellion in China. You're playing as a soldier in a local militia. You rescue a boy with magical powers and you save him from some rebels. After this, you stumble across one of the Zhang brothers that is responsible for the rebellion. You end up having to fight him, and once he's defeated, the Taoist Yuji appears and captures the boy yet again. Which, by the way, the boy appears to be the embodiment of the deity known as Yinglong. The protagonist sets out to hunt down Yuji in order to free the spirit. I think it's important to note how good the Japanese voice acting is in this game. Yes, there's silly parts and stuff in it, but you can just tell the delivery of everything is just so serious. And I really like that. And it's also amusing, just seeing, all these Chinese names and characters, but they're speaking Japanese. I'm sorry, I just like that.
もしや栄翔様、天に星をいただくお方よ、ここでお会いできるとは。
いかにもわしが炎章。そうか、天文にもそう出ておるか。
本将、この令状の急務は任せた。連れて行くわけにはいくまい。
うん。お主たちこそ抜かるなよ。
So this is my girl that I made, and I don't know what's with her. She always looks like she's in a state of constant distress. She always looks so sad. I remember when this game first released on Xbox One and PlayStation 4, there were some performance issues. If you play on PlayStation 5 or Series X, you're getting 2K assets at 60 frames per second. And yeah, it's not quite 4K obviously, but I think the graphics really do still hold up. Something interesting to note for me personally, like just a disclaimer, I really don't play a lot of Souls-like games. The first one I ever played was Code Vein, and I loved the first one. I love the aesthetic, I love the story, just everything about it. And I did play the first Neo game, and it totally kicked my ass, which you could technically say I never finished that. But based off of like what I've experienced with Wolong and Rise of the Ronin, it makes me want to go back and revisit that experience again, because I feel like my approach would be very different. Anyways, the point that I'm trying to make is, yeah, when it comes to these type of games, my experience is limited and skewed to a degree. I guess it's very, Koei Tecmo based. But back to Wolong. Once I got past that first boss, it was like Rise of the Ronin all over again. It's like something clicked. I realized that once I found the right weapon, learned the boss attacks, got the hang of parrying, the fight went a lot smoother. Something that seemed almost impossible, not so impossible now. Everything from the counters to the magical spells, it's like they know how to like zoom in at the right time and just accentuate the action and just make it more engaging. That's like, I love that about Team Ninja. I don't know if everyone will agree with this, but I would say this game is a little bit more accessible than Neo, but somehow manages to be slightly more challenging than Rise of the Ronin. And by the way, that doesn't mean Ronin is an easy game, by any means. And I just wanted to make that clear for people that are new to the channel and they haven't seen any of my other coverage. But Wolong is a game where you feel you need to use everything in order to survive. You have magic spells called martial arts. Some create buffs for your character. Other spells are very offensive attacks. You also have a bow, kunai, bombs. And of course, you have your two main blades of choice. But you have to learn how to use these in tandem with your spirit gauge. The spirit gauge is kind of like your mana/stamina bar. And if you can learn to pace yourself with using your weapons, but not using all of your stamina and all of your spirit energy, then you have less of a chance of being in those situations where you get staggered. Because that's actually what you want to do to the boss. You want to stagger the boss. Another interesting mechanic is the morale system. Now, this allows you to take over certain locations by placing flags down. But the trick is this: if you are skilled enough, you could take on enemies that have way higher morale. And what does that mean exactly? That means you're putting way less flags down and you're just pretty much running around the entire map and just trying to kill everything. And the benefit of that is way better rewards. So there is motivation behind this, but yes, that does mean the game will be even more challenging, which is not what I need, is not what I'm about. In fact, I'm more of a I leave no stone unturned kind of guy. I want all the leverage I can get, but for people that want even more of a challenge, I think that's a pretty interesting concept. The more flags you have down, the more morale you have. Which means, yes, starting out, you might run into enemies that have higher morale than you. Combat does seem to really lean into parrying the unblockable attacks. And some bosses are just so fast that it would be really hard to dodge or run away from these attacks. But when a parry is done right, oh man, I mean, when you do, first of all, if I do one, I'm getting hyped. If I do one parry, I'm getting hyped. But if I do like 3 back to back, I lose my mind. Like, I literally fly out of my seat. And I'm standing up now at this point. It's like, that's what the game does to me. It's so damn satisfying. Not the standing up part, but I'm just saying, like, the getting 3 parries back to back. Satisfying. I like it. But like I said, you still need to learn how to pace yourself, because you can waste spirit energy if you're just constantly trying to parry and you're missing parries. So you don't want to do that either. You can't just spam stuff in this game. You have to be strategic. So there is multiplayer in this game, and where I'm at now, it seems it's pretty run-of-the-mill that, every story quest you can play with another player. But then once you get to the end and you fight the boss, then it pretty much ends the session. So you would have to start another one, once that one is over. What's kind of funny about this is, despite the game being a few years old, I managed to accidentally click on the item that asks for another player's help, and both times someone showed up, which, that's cool. But brother, they were way OP. So they were essentially just killing enemy in like 1 to 2 hits, and then bosses, maybe they would kill them in several hits. And just to be clear here, like, the people that I played with, they were clearly like there to help me. You could tell, because they wouldn't run too far away from me, and they would start trying to get my attention, or if I ran past something, they would run back to where whatever it is I need to pick up, and then they would be jumping and stuff. So it was like they were very helpful. So it wasn't doing it to be obnoxious, or to, oh look, I'm gonna kill the boss and you didn't even get to touch him or whatever, or you only hit him one time. I don't think that was the intention. I think it's just, if you're that powerful, it's really hard to give the enemy a fighting chance. But this is what I would say though, because of that, due to them killing the bosses so quickly, I did kind of realize, like, hey, you know what? I'm probably going to go back and redo these stages, because even though I got some good stuff playing with those guys, it's like I still want to learn the boss fights. Like, if this was a game that I was just kind of killing time with, it was just something I was just messing with every now and then, but I really like this game. So it's like, I don't want that experience robbed from me. So it's like, I'm going to go back. I want to fight those guys again and see how I do. Yeah, so I didn't really intend for this to be a full-blown review, but there you have it. Wo Long Fallen Dynasty is a very solid game. And I really just wanted to express how much joy I got from playing this. Because as you guys already know, in today's time, especially on the internet, so many people are trying to sell you on the idea that there's no good games and everything sucks or whatever. And that couldn't be further from the truth. And in fact, it's like, there's good games coming out every year. There's so many games that probably came out last year and you just never got around to them. And of course, I mean, just like anything, there's some games, not everything is meant for you. Not everything's meant for me. You know, there's going to be games coming out, you know, in the next year or so that I'm not as hyped for. And then something like this, I'm like, oh yeah, I wanted to play this, and then get completely blown away. The simple fact that a sequel will be coming out for this very soon, I mean, I couldn't be happier to hear that. I can't wait to see what changes they make. But I really want to know, what do you guys think? Please let me know down in the comments. Have you played Wo Long Fallen Dynasty? Do you look forward to the sequel? Or maybe you're someone that's like, you're a Neo purist. That's all you do. You don't play the other ones. Or maybe you might think, oh, well, you're just a Team Ninja fanboy, and that's you just like all the games, and you know, that's all you're about. And hey, maybe you're right, because it's starting to feel like that. I might as well just keep playing all of their games, right? As always, I appreciate you watching the video to the very end. Take care, and I'll see you next time.